Justin. Hey, how's it going? It's happy Sunday night, or at least for us. Good to see you. Welcome to The Answer. We'll see you in a sec. Hey, how's it going? I just woke up. Justin almost had to break down the door to get in. No, we didn't exactly go there. But anyways, tonight, Justin, what are we talking about tonight?
Tonight we are talking about, and when I initially said this to Sandra, she was like, yeah, I'm kind of known for really like not necessarily the greatest analogies at times. She was like, what are you talking about? So I was talking about weeding your social garden, right? So let's think about a garden, right?
While Justin explains this, I just got to share this out to a couple people. So if you look at me, if I'm looking at my phone, that's what's happening. Go ahead, Justin.
She's just rude, doesn't want to hear what I have to say.
No.
So yeah, weeding your social garden. So logically speaking, right? You have a garden and you're trying to grow certain things. Usually not weeds. I've only been ever good at growing weeds in a real garden, but that's just my problem. So, weeding your social garden, you go out and you pull the weeds. So the positive things that you're trying to cultivate and grow will have more nutrients to thrive, right? So we were talking about what should we talk about tonight? And I said, well, let's talk about, we've kind of talked about relationships and we've talked about spirituality, but let's talk about weeding your social garden. Looking for signs of the people in your life that are not helping you attain your goals, that aren't helping you thrive in some way. Like the one-sided friendships that we have where somebody's always reaching out and just taking and taking and taking, for instance. And, at some point you go, why do we even talk to this person? Is it because they've just been there so long? Is it because there's something that they're stirring in me that gives me some kind of peace or sense of validation? Like what is the value of this relationship? So that's what we're going to go into today. And so I found a list. I looked around. There's a lot of things about that, especially if you go out and Google, like, removing toxic friends, the value of removing toxic people, things like that. There's a lot of different lists. I really liked this one I found. And yeah, I've got some examples. We all have examples. What's interesting is a lot of times we just don't see how these relationships are affecting us until we take the time to really look at it. Most of us just kind of are asleep, coasting through life. And my idiot brother-in-law called me again. Was trying to get me to co-sign on his fourth car because the other one's got repossessed. And we all have these people, and you're like, at some point you have to go, okay, what is this person bringing to the table? I mean, there's some, I was thinking about this. There are some people that are in our lives a very long time, right? Like my knucklehead friend that does X, Y, and Z. And I kind of think of them as like getting grandfathered in, because as you get
talking about family
or just really long time friends, you kind of go, well, as this awareness starts to build, you go, okay, I'm not going to let these kind of people in my life, right? But they're still the old guard, as I call it. And I say they kind of get grandfathered in because you're just used to them being there, and you just kind of accept them for who they are. You just let them hang around. Well,
with family, we're kind of stuck with
right?
We're kind of stuck with them, aren't we? With family.
Yeah, it definitely can be. So I was like, yeah. Let's think, like, we all have that knucklehead friend that's just like, dude, you just can't do anything right. Stop calling me, ask me for money. And if you choose to keep them around, which a lot of us do, you just have to have firm boundaries, and you have to accept where they're at in life.
Shout out to Caroline. Caroline, I was just looking to see if you told me to share.
Oh, is Caroline out there?
Yeah, I don't know. She posted. She's like, come visit Sandra and Justin. So thank you, Caroline. We're still getting the hang of things over here.
Yeah.
I personally am coming back from. This is crazy. I just flew in last night after midnight from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm back in Portland with this guy. And I came back and I don't know, Justin, I don't know what happened. I think they must give us some sort of drug to make us sleep on the plane, because everyone on the plane, they figured out now, all these people yelling. Every flight I'm on, there's people breaking out into fights, talking about social issues. Okay, fights are breaking out on the plane because people don't want to wear their mask, or they fall asleep with their mask. And I don't have my mask, but let me show you, okay? I don't know if you guys have ever tried to sleep in a mask, but I'm going to grab my mask to show you. So we're all sleeping on the plane, right? Because it's like a red eye. And we're all sleeping on the plane, and here we are with our mask, right? And then, of course, as you sleep, right, what happens? It usually ends up like this, you know what I mean? Because you're moving around and stuff. And they come and wake you up, and they're like, excuse me, sir, if you could please cover both your mouth and nose. So it's always a fight, right? I think they started giving us some sort of sleep thing, and we just sleep through the whole flight, because last night everyone was sleeping on the plane. And then I came back early this morning or last night, went to sleep, and then I woke up and I called this guy and was like, you want to go get breakfast? And he was like, sure, we have breakfast. And then I was like, Justin, I was going to go shopping, but I think I just want to go back to sleep. And I slept till right now, okay? I swear they're putting something in on those planes to keep us subdued, okay? I swear. I felt really bad, though, you guys. If you fly, please don't be mean to the flight attendants. They're just trying to do their jobs. They didn't make the rule, you know? I mean, none of us want to wear the mask, but they're just trying to follow the federal law or whatever. So that's my little rant on that. But getting on to social issues, I'm going to go to captions. So if you guys anybody on this live, we are doing it live, but make sure you check at the top to make sure that we that we actually are live. Oh, there's Caroline. Hi, Caroline. We just figured out how to put the comments on. My garden is self-sufficient. She says my garden is self-sufficient, self-reliant. Oh, love that. Yeah, okay, we are going to talk about boundaries for sure. But if you do have a question, we're happy to answer it for you. So let's talk a little bit about weeding your social garden. So I know Justin has a little article he drew up on this, and I'm just going to go by 20 years of counseling experience, because boundaries are a big issue with counseling. So I hear a lot about that inside my therapeutic sessions. And although I can't share names, but I can at least give you hypothetical scenarios of imaginary people. They're not really imaginary. Okay, go, Justin.
Yeah,
go.
I'll probably do that too.
Let me turn down this music a little bit, now that you guys are all in a mood.
So to reference this, we're looking at Achieve Concierge. That's the name of the site. I thought it was kind of classy. I guess a bit of a classy sounding kind of site.
Okay.
So here's a list of toxic traits to look for in people, right? I was thinking about this. This one's kind of funny in a way.
Okay.
They manipulate you, right? And it's like, well, look out for that manipulation. Well, if they're good at manipulating you, you're not going to really see it.
Yeah.
Right
so
at the gates, right?
How does it say, how do you know if you're being manipulated by someone?
It really doesn't. It says, it says basic things like, stand your ground, set boundaries, find your support system. And that to me has been my lifeline for a while. Like other friends, people in my orbit, especially with some of my relationships, like the female women in my life will absolutely peg a girl that's playing me in some way. They'll be like, oh, no, I know that game. Like, no.
But what about there's someone out there right now that's dealing with someone and they don't even know they're getting manipulated? How do they see that person and see what's going on before it's too late?
So as we go down the list that they have here, you'll see that there's other traits that go along with these people. Usually a manipulator is going to have other traits. Manipulator is not going to be like their one thing. There's going to be other personality traits that feeds into that behavior.
All right,
right, and encourages that. So
let's do it. I'm ready.
Yes.
Let's do it.
So they manipulate you, right? It's funny. A lot of times in our personal lives, our emotional relationships, we don't sit there and don't do this logical breakdown, right? I remember, what do I want to call this person? I'll call her Dancing Queen, right? Okay. I won't say her name, of course. Just Dancing Queen, right? Yeah, because she's very much, look at me, I'm a dancing blah, blah, and blah queen. And yeah, anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I call her Dancing Queen, right? And it was actually my mother of all things that was like, yeah, what is she doing? She's saying this and then needing money for that, just a little bit here and there. She goes, why don't you write down how much money that she's gotten out of you in the past few months, right? I'm like, it can't be that much, not a big deal. And I sit there and I start doing, I like to say bar napkin math all the time, because that's my way of saying I was doing math without like a spreadsheet or a calculator or anything. Just bar napkin math, right? And I start writing down, like, oh, it's just here and here and here and here. Oh my girl got like $8,000 out of me in like a handful of months.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the big tactic she had was just emotional stuff, right? Bombard you with emotional stuff and it just so your brain just kind of shuts off and you just start going along with it, right? And that gets into boundaries later.
Yeah, we talked about this in another video if you saw it. The damsel in distress. So Justin's a hunter and protector, and the best way to get a hold of somebody like Justin is to play the damsel in distress. Oh, but Justin, my car broke down and now I can't get my kids to school. And Justin goes, here I am to save the day. And he's Mr. I'm gonna get your car fixed. So yeah, that's a big one for guys.
Big sucker coming your way. All right. And yeah. So I mean, that was, well, I mean, there were some other things that this person had going on too. Gaslighting was a common one. They don't talk about this in this article. Well, gaslighting is a form
How
of
do you not talk
right?
about that in this article?
It's easy to fall under manipulation, right?
Okay.
Gaslighting is a common thing,
Okay.
I was like, well, I'm not happy with this, and this. Well, I've done more spiritual work than you. That's not even an answer for anything, right? Like, it's just like, you aren't evolved enough to understand me, therefore you should just fund me and be my sucker. Like, yeah. What? Tell me some of the things you've encountered, right?
With what?
Because otherwise we'll just get stuck in my little story with people manipulating you in your life.
People don't manipulate me.
Say you're smarter than
the end. The end.
See?
But I will tell you this. But they used to all the time. In fact, I've been in relationships where there was serious like romantic relationships where they were abusive. I've been in friendships that were abusive. When I say abusive, abuse isn't just someone cold cocking you, okay? Abuse can come in many different forms. And and all my life I've been this person that wants to make sure everyone's happy. Let me tell you something, you guys. If your boundaries aren't strong and you're a nice person, you look like a smorgasbord of every delicious food you've ever tasted to a person who's been stranded in the desert without food or water for about 2 weeks, okay? They see you coming and they know exactly what to say and do to figure out how you tick. And I would say for the first, I won't give away how old I am, but I'll say for the first 40 years of my life, so that gives you an idea, I was completely taken advantage of. And that came from a lack of boundaries, I haven't learned those boundaries as a kid. And a lot of you out there might feel like you didn't have those boundaries set up or weren't taught the proper boundaries. And then that just kind of travels into your adulthood, okay? And it's not your parents' fault, because usually your poor parents didn't have boundaries and they were taken advantage of too. But it's called, what's it called? Generational cycle, or a cycle. It's something like generational cycle is what I want to say. So what happens is it passes down. So if you come from a family that through the generations there was abuse, usually the abuse continues and you give it, and your children do it and your grandchildren, unless you stop the cycle. So I started reading books about breaking free of a family full of alcoholism and where there was abuse. And here I am, I was the kid who needed to make everything better. So as there were fights breaking out in the family and people were drinking and they were, like literally fighting each other. Okay. I'm like 8 years old and I'm with my cousins who are all younger than me. And I'm like herding everyone into the farthest bedroom of the house while all of this craziness is going on, and getting them to hide in the closet so we don't get involved in the mess. Okay. That tends to bring about an adult that needs to do that for people. And what I learned is this. It's something called reciprocity. And if you can practice reciprocity, I guarantee you, Justin, or anyone listening, you will figure out if someone is about having a true one-on-one equal friendship with you, or if they're trying to take advantage of you. And then here's how it works. Reciprocity means when you meet someone, and I'm kind to everyone. I give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Does that mean I give them a car? And you get a car, and you get a car. No, no one gets a car. But I'm nice to you. So I know Justin's sad, but I'm nice to you, okay? And I'm going to check you out. So what I'm going to do is I might do something small. So for example, I meet Justin. I don't know him very well. We both are swing dancers, if you know what those are, or at least we were pre-corona. And I met Justin at a swing event.
Swing dancing event.
A swing dancing event. Sorry, some people might get confused on that. East Coast swing dancing event. Okay. We were at the swing weekend, and people go, "What? You were at a what?" Yeah, it's a weekend where everyone goes and dances like all hours of the night. Anyways, let's say I think Justin's cool, and I'd like to be his friend, but I don't know him. So what I would do is I might email him or Facebook him and say, "Hey, Justin, I've got 2 tickets to that dance, next week, that live music dance. Did you want to maybe go with me?" And he says, "Yeah, hell yeah, I'll go," because I'm giving him something, right? But what's the trick behind it? See, I'm going to see what he does back. We're beyond this now. So he's like thinking, oh, wait, hold on. So now I take him, I buy him this, ticket. We go to the swing dance. Now, this is going to go one or two ways with Justin. Here's where reciprocity comes in. Is he going to reciprocate by saying, "Sandra, oh my God, can I drive you? Can I buy you dinner after? That was so nice of you to do that. We had so much fun. Next time I want to buy the tickets." Okay, this is a keeper, right? He's a keeper because he wants it to be equal. It's called an equitable relationship. And I give you a little and you give me a little. Now, it's never going to be 100% like equal, but each party should be trying, okay? Now, on the flip side, this is the person you want to run for the hills, is we go to this dance and he has a great time and I bought his ticket. And then he gets to the dance with me and he goes, "Well, I'm thirsty. I don't have any money on me though." And I'm like, "Oh, you didn't bring any money?" "No, I didn't know they were going to have anything here." "Okay. Well, I guess I could buy you a drink." How many of you found yourself in that position where all of a sudden that person is like, "Well, I don't know what to do." And you're like, "Okay, well, I suppose I can help you." Not really wanting to, but all of a sudden you find yourself doing something for them that you didn't plan on doing. And you're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I could get you a drink." "Oh yeah, and pretzels too, please." "I'll take the pretzels." "Okay. All right, it's not a big deal. It's only like $15, but okay, that's weird. All right, here you go. Here's your drink and your pretzels, Justin." Now, a week goes by. Justin sends me an event that's coming up and goes, "Oh, here, look at this dance. And they're going to have this band that I know you really like." "Oh, that's so cool." Yeah, it's cool. Are you going to get tickets for that? You see what's going on? Justin's setting me up for a pattern of me constantly giving and him constantly taking. And what's going to happen after a couple of months of that is that when I don't give back and I don't do what Justin expects me, here's going to be the reaction. Justin rings me up. In the old days, we used to call each other on the phone. Calls me and goes, "Hey, what's up, Sandra? Yeah, remember that event I sent you? It's this weekend." "Oh yeah, it is, Justin. That's right. What's going on about that? Did you get tickets or something?" "No, I didn't get tickets. That's why I sent you the event." "Okay, well, I didn't buy tickets. I probably won't buy tickets to that event." Thinking in my head, why would I buy you tickets again? Like, I bought you tickets for the last 3 events. Why would I do that again? That makes no sense, right? What's the reaction going to be from Justin? If you have people in your life that take advantage of your boundaries, I guarantee you already know the answer. He's going to get pissed at me. And he might get pissed in the way where he goes, "Oh, hey, I got to get back to work. I'm running late," and play passive aggressive and hang up the phone and not call me again and just like stonewall me. Or he's going to start going "Oh, well, what's your problem? What, you don't have money for a freaking dance?" Right? They'll turn into the asshole. Supposed to say asshole, but
whatever it is.
Yeah, so that's what I found. So look for reciprocity, and it should be something really small you do for someone, and then wait and see. And it doesn't have to be buying them something. It could just be something kind, just a kindness you practice. Your neighbor down the street, and you see they didn't bring their trash cans in because it was trash day. Maybe they went out of town that night, and you see it out on the street, I mean, if you're close enough and you know them, not a stranger, don't go to a stranger's house. And then you go like, oh, well, they must, oh, that's right. They said they were going out of town. I'll just bring their trash cans up for them. Now, they're either going to come to you and say, oh my God, did you take our trash cans in? Oh my God, Sandra, thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. We made some pie. We have some pies we made from our trip. We got wild berries. Do you want a pie? That's reciprocity. Or the next week comes around, their trash cans are on the street and you don't bring them back up. And they're like, Sandra didn't even bring our trash cans up. Who the hell does she think she is? Okay. So you're going to get one of two reactions. And if you get a good reaction and they offer you pie, then you guys are building reciprocity there. And it's an equitable relationship, which means Justin, the last time we went to dinner before I went to Philly, Justin bought me dinner. It wasn't expected. And I kind of ordered a lot of food, actually.
I didn't even remember doing it.
And the bill was high. So he paid the bill last time we were at dinner. So this morning when I went to breakfast, I said, I'm buying you breakfast and order lots of stuff and get a cocktail, because the last time we went to dinner, like, it was more expensive than I thought because I didn't realize he was going to be buying. So I kind of probably ordered more than I would have. So we have a pretty equitable relationship. It's like, because if one person's account runs empty and the other person's account is always full, there's something wrong with that. If you're always giving to someone and doing things for someone, and they're always, oh my God, my life, oh, you don't understand, like, today's so bad and I really need your help. And you're always that person for them. But then the first time you have an issue and you say, oh, my car, I have to get my car to the shop and I don't know how I need to drop the car off, but I have no way to get home. And it's crickets. You're hearing crickets. That person you've done all those things for, and they're not even like, oh, I could give you a ride back from the shop. No, they're not even offering. Why? They're takers. They love to take and take and take and take. So their bank account is empty. Sorry. One of you is full and one of you is empty. I'm so tired that I still can't figure which one's full. Oh, they're taking. They're empty. They're empty.
They're just constantly taking from you.
Yeah. And that's not going to be a good relationship for you. Right? Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the next point. And I know somebody's messaging me, so I'm going to make sure it's nothing to do with the live. Hey, Sandra, you're not live. Yeah, we did that.
That was amazing.
We did a live for almost 40 minutes.
40 minutes
and then realized we weren't live. But no, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, if you go through our archives at some point and you see the video that starts with us laughing, that's what happened. Like, and we talk about it like, wow, 40 minutes, nobody watching.
Oh my God.
Just yakking it up, man.
It was a good one too.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So
read another one to us.
Yeah, funny story. I'm probably the only guy I know that's gotten in trouble for getting into his friend's purse because I kept giving her the same 20 back. It even started to become a running joke among our friends.
That's nothing to do with this conversation.
But she finally caught me because I put it in the wrong part of her purse.
He's talking about me. Yeah. It's a running joke. It's a running joke. Everywhere we go, he slides. I always try to pay for myself when we go somewhere, and he's like slides money back into my purse. But women out there, we put our money in a certain place in our purse, and he's putting it in where my masks are. And I'm like, why is there a $20 bill with my masks? First of all, money's filthy, and it's next to my masks now. I mean, like Caroline said, Caroline's a smorgasbord.
I saw that.
I like that. It takes 3 generations to break a cycle. Yeah.
See, it's too off topic, but in my shamanic work, we actually do ancestral removal. Like, we remove the negative stuff from our ancestry.
Yeah.
But that's for another life. So,
yeah, by the way, if you don't know, Justin does a lot of shamanism stuff, and he goes in and does stuff with ancestors and but yeah, no, I think that's interesting. I never really considered how many cycles. I can tell you that both of my kids, everything that happened to me did not happen to my children. So is it possible to break that cycle? It absolutely is. To this day, I will tell you that my mother was an angel that walked the earth. Okay. She was the most loving, caring sweetheart of a person. And she used to drive me out of my goddamn mind. Love you, Mom. She's gone now, but she used to drive me crazy because she never you never had to apologize to my mom. You could do something terrible to my mom and she would just let it go. She was one of those people that just always gave and gave and gave her whole life. And it wasn't until the last couple months of her life when she knew that she had a terminal illness and it was going to take her life, when she finally said, you know, that's not okay with me. People taking advantage of me that are closest to me, I'm done. Like, I'm done. And she drew a line and she was like, your days of manipulating me are over. Unfortunately for them, because they thought that they were going to, you know, come out of this with money and stuff when my mom passed. And she made some boundaries. So it's never too late. And hopefully you won't wait till the last couple months of your life, because I'll tell you something. You're going to be miserable. You are going to be miserable because you're going to be doing everything for everyone and no one's doing anything for you. And at the end of the day, you're tired, you're overwhelmed, you're emotionally depleted, and you're sad that people are being so mean to you. But remember, you have accountability in this, because it's up to you to draw those boundaries in the sand and say, hey, this is, oh, bless you, Justin.
I'm sorry.
Justin had to sneeze.
Yeah,
but it's up to you to draw those boundaries, you guys. And if someone crosses over the boundary, you say, oh, you crossed over my boundary. And then they look at you and they go, over your boundary again. There you go. And you're like, okay, well, I told you this once and I'm going to tell you this again. You've crossed over my boundary. If they do it a third time, that person needs to be out of your life. Now, you might not be able to get rid of them completely. It might be a family member like Justin was talking about. It might be a coworker. You might not be able to get rid of them completely, but you can get rid of them in the way that you no longer put yourself out for them. And instead of doing stuff for other people, start doing stuff for yourself. And you will see your whole life literally change. And I know there's someone out here listening right now that has recently been through the situation and has experienced this, that when you stop being someone's, you know, the person someone constantly throws crap on and expects things, and it's just, it's such a toxic relationship. When you finally break free from that, it's like you have so much more time for positive things that are going to move you forward in your life. So true.
Yep, definitely.
So I wasn't always this way. So you can join me. Join me. We have cookies. Join me on the reciprocity side. We have cookies.
So Caroline made a fantastic comment. When we are awake, we break cycles. Yeah, once you have that awareness, you can start addressing it, right?
Yeah. So that's why I'm really concerned that people need to see those signs. So number one, make sure you practice reciprocity. Do not do something huge for someone right off the bat. Do something really small, okay? And then see what they do. Just watch them before you move forward. Watch and see what their reaction is and keep watching for that. And then once you're into like 6 months of the relationship, you're going to figure out this person's really awesome. I even know people that I've done something the smallest thing for, and they literally won't let me forget about it for the rest of my life. They're like, oh, but Sandra, that time when you gave me a cookie out of your lunch. And I'm like, what? I gave you a freaking cookie, dude. But that's a really good-hearted person. And I was just telling Justin today, the only quality that all my friends have in common is they all have amazing hearts. I have friends that make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and have master's degrees. And I have friends that make $20,000 a year and probably didn't make it out of high school. But the thing that we all have in common is we all have good hearts, and I can bring them all together in a gathering and we have the best time. It's not that we have the same background or the same cultural, things going on. It's just that we all have good hearts and we can have a great time and laugh, right?
Oh yeah.
I think I can bring all of my friends together.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
We all have a great time.
We've done it several times.
Yeah.
And it's been fun.
And you might only have one person. You guys, you might have 20 friends right now and you're like, I'm going to listen to Sandra and Justin. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this reciprocity thing. And suddenly you wake up one day and you've got one friend left.
Yeah.
Literally.
It can be very lonely when you get that awareness, But the thing is what fills the gap is the quality of your relationships going up, because you are left so much more fulfilled by having less people, right?
Well, you got to make
quantity.
room, and you got to make room for the new people coming into your life. Because once you get rid of that toxicity, you're going to open the door for people that really deserve your friendship, and people that are going to treat you as beautifully as you treat them. But as long as those toxic people are in there, it sends an energy around you that people don't want to come near that. I promise you it's true. Whether you believe in energy or not, when you're around people that are unhealthy, their energy spills on you. I want you to imagine, have you ever been around someone that has such bad BO? Their BO is so bad that they walk in a room and you literally think it's still on you. When they leave, you're like, God, I feel like I can still smell curry on me, or whatever it is they were eating the night before, right? Or they haven't showered, or they've been at the gym. That stuff, you carry it on you, okay? So when you just go take a shower right now and then start fresh. Take a shower and start fresh.
Yeah.
A spiritual shower.
A spiritual shower. Like bless the water in some way before you get in, and hey, could work. It could work.
All right, tell me something else.
Okay, so we started. There's a list here. There's like 8. There's not numbers, and I lose count sometimes. So I don't even care about the number. But so we're gonna cover this one. So we already talked about manipulate you, and we could go. There's entire books about manipulation tactics and things.
Yes.
I think the reciprocity check is a very good. It's a very good balance. Like it's a good way to see like what is the dynamic of this relationship, or is this person constantly taking from me?
Right.
So they make you feel bad about yourself, right? And that a lot of times
that's kind of gaslighting.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of times when you try to enforce a boundary is when you're going to see that.
I'm going to look up the definition about gaslighting because I think this is really important that we.
Yeah, we should define that. It's kind of okay. At least. I can't articulate it off the top of my head.
No, it's a really popular term, but I feel like it's always used in the wrong way. Every time I hear it's being used. So to gaslight someone, manipulate by psychological means into questioning their own sanity.
Yeah, basically the narrative you put forward, they throw it away. Like, hey, I'm not comfortable with you like stepping outside the relationship and expecting me to pay your bills, and you go off with other guys. Well, I do more spiritual work than you. Like, what?
Has nothing to do with what you're actually saying.
That's a gaslight, though. It's to knock you down and confuse you.
It makes you question your own reality.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not evolved enough to understand.
I'll tell you. This is the most common definition that people can understand is gaslighting. So let's pretend role play. We're husband and wife. I just said husband and wife. we're husband and wife. We do live
in Portland, Oregon.
So. Okay. Hey, anything's possible.
Anything is possible here.
So we're husband and wife. We're married of 5 years. And Justin, I come home drunk one night. I've been out partying. I said I was going to be back at 11. I came back at 3 a.m. And Justin starts mouthing off, saying some stupid crap like, well, where were you? I thought you were dead. You weren't answering your phone. You were supposed to be back at 11 and it's 3 a.m., which of course it's quite realistic, right? And it's pretty realistic. I mean, when someone you love says they're going to be there at a certain time and they don't show up and then they don't answer their phone and they don't call you, you're worried about them. I walk in and it's the same old crap from this piece of shit. So he's like, oh my God, Sandra, I was ready to call the hospitals. I didn't know what happened to you. And I just backhand a bam, right? And poor Justin's on the floor, right? And Justin says, oh my God. And so the next day he wakes up and he's just got a welt on his face, right? And he says, Sandra, you hit me really hard. And, I don't know how I'm going to go to work today with this big bruise on my face, right? My answer is going to be something similar to along the lines of,
that's my fault. Somehow.
Yeah,
right?
But it's going to be something like, I don't even know what you're talking about. What do you mean? When you came home last night, you hit me. You're freaking crazy. You need to, I thought you said you were going to get therapy or something.
Yeah, you're always clumsy. You must have tripped up the stairs when you were coming in.
Weren't you going to get counseling or something? I mean, dude, you're like.
Yeah, that's a classic one, right? You need counseling.
Right.
Yeah.
So suddenly I'm not the bad guy. He's the bad. There's something wrong with him, not wrong with me. Constantly putting it over onto the other person, right? I don't know if that's the best example, but I feel like gaslighting goes on a lot with abusive relationships. So the next time someone does something wrong to you, it's okay for them to come to you and say, hey, listen, I'm sorry, Justin, I drank too much last night. I think I need to address this. I need to get into some sort of group or a program. I'm really sorry I made you worry about me. And I know I hit you. And that if this happens again, like I would understand you not wanting to be with me. That's somebody holding themselves accountable. If you don't see someone holding themselves accountable for what they've done, then what do we say about that?
Snip, snip.
Yeah, that's one of your people.
Pull,
you need
pull them out
to
of the garden.
time to weed that garden and pull
Yep.
it out. And it's not going to be easy. It's going to be painful because obviously Justin wouldn't have been in that situation with me if he didn't love me and care about me. But it might be time for him to say goodbye if I'm going to be making him feel bad for caring about me, which is all he was really doing. Is he was just concerned that was I okay, and because of that he ended up with a black eye. So yeah,
I'd be in such a
just for the record, I've never given him a black eye.
I would be in such a state of confusion if that actually happened. I'd be like, I would just be like, Sandra just hit me. Like, really?
Okay, first of all, he does like freaking martial arts. I would never even make contact with him. I was just making an example. By the time I went like this, he would have already blocked me. It'd already be over with. I'd be on the floor in a wrestling hold, like until I calm down. So
yeah, I'd probably get stuffed. I'd be like, what are you doing? Just utter confusion. But
all right, let's cover some more. Okay. Gotta give him stuff. We gotta give you guys tools for your arsenal.
Stuff. Okay.
Tools for your arsenal.
Well, this is more about identifying toxic people. But yeah, we'll give you tools too. So yeah, to make you feel bad about yourself, right? That's kind of a common one.
Or gaslighting. You can look up gaslighting.
Yeah, they knock you down so they can stay up here. That's pretty common. Yeah. There's always a mishmash of stuff that goes into that, but won't get too far. So I actually think these two kind of go hand in hand. So the other ones, they judge you constantly, right? So if they're judging you constantly,
Caroline's comments, you're so cute,
and making you feel bad about yourself, right? A lot of times those go hand in hand.
Oh, okay. Right? Caroline also put up another definition, which I feel like is probably better than the one I gave. So, undermining another person's reality by denying facts or feelings.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it goes.
That's the perfect definition.
Yep. Okay, so they're consumed by negativity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, manipulate you, make you feel bad about yourself, judge you constantly, consumed by negativity, right? Some of this stuff, like you said, if you can't necessarily spot the manipulation right away, because a lot of times we don't. Or
no, it's not just that. They're charming as hell.
Or they're charming.
People that are manipulators and narcissists are so freaking charming, and they love bomb you.
Yes.
They love bomb you. They throw bombs on you of love, and you're just like, oh, I just feel so good all the time. And then once they see that you're hooked, they're like, okay, now I pull in my cash.
Yeah. That's
pull it in.
That's exactly that. That's part of the story that I shared. That's a big
evil plan.
It's a big component of it, right?
I'm curling my mustache. Evil plan. Okay.
I have to get you a fine hat.
I know.
The top hat, So yeah, a lot of times people that are constantly negative, judge you constantly, make you feel bad about yourself. They're usually just exporting their internal turmoil. They're just putting it out on the other person to keep them down. It may not be a conscious thing that they do, but a lot of times, I've come to realize too in my own personal processes and things that if I really dislike somebody about something about someone, if they're not doing something manipulative or odd, it's like. There's usually a component within myself I don't like about that.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, and I'm putting it out on them, right?
It's called projection, right?
Yeah. Why couldn't I come up with that word?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, I wasn't even asleep like 10 minutes ago. So they're passive aggressive. This is a really common behavior I've noticed in our culture, especially as we've evolved more and more into online avenues of communication and emails and texting and stuff. That there's that face-to-face interaction seems to get less and less. So people's social skills have really started to slide by the wayside.
Well, and it's like what we discussed earlier about the buying a ticket and then buying a ticket and buying a ticket for the other person, and then suddenly the other person says, "Well, didn't you get that thing I sent you, that event?" Yeah. Did you get tickets? No.
Yeah.
Okay. And suddenly, click, crickets.
Yeah.
Passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Is in
Very,
effect.
very passive aggressive. Not instead of like, why didn't you get tickets like I expected? It's like, oh man, I really thought you were going to do it. No, I'm really disappointed. And
how about this one?
How about this one?
Sandra, I lost my job 3 months ago. As much as I'd love to go, $20 for a ticket is really a lot of money for me. Okay, that's fair. But if you just don't talk to me because I didn't buy you a ticket for the 4th time, now whose fault is it? Whose fault is it if Justin is upset that I didn't buy him a ticket for the 4th time? Now, this is a trick question. Whose fault is it if Justin has let me buy his tickets every time and managed to do this little, what do you call this? This place, merry-go-round, right? Merry-go-round. We're on this merry-go-round where I'm constantly getting, kind of taken advantage of by him. And now he's upset with me. Whose fault is it that he's upset with me? You want to go for it? Whose fault is it?
Well, I mean, there does come a time.
Trick question.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Right?
Yeah.
Fool me like 8 times. So it's a trick really question shame on because me over and over again.
The responsibility is on both ends. It's his. Yeah. He needs to stop taking advantage of people and taking advantage. But I also need to have stronger boundaries because I can tell you that's just not going to happen to Sandra in Sandra's life. Okay, because the first time I might say, oh, I have these tickets. I just had an extra ticket for the dance. Do you want to go? He might go. I'm not going to buy him the pretzels and the soda at the dance. I'm not going to. You should have brought money for yourself. I freaking paid for you to get in. Not only that, you should be driving me. Okay? It's like you should be driving us there. What? No, you're not going to eat my pretzels. And then the other thing is, if the next time the dance comes around and he sends me an event and says, oh, yeah, there's another dance coming up. Cool. Your turn. What? It's your turn to treat. I treated last time. Are you going to get us tickets? I'm excited. What time are we going? What time are you going to pick me up? Or do you want me to drive this time since you're buying tickets? See, I'm going to set up good boundaries with you so you understand. And so I'm never going to feel sad if his friendship goes away. I'm not going to be sad because I set up good boundaries with him in the first place. And it's a healthy relationship. So if he left me because he didn't want to be my friend anymore, more than likely he didn't like the healthy boundaries that I set up.
Yep.
And guess what we get called as women? I know some of us will understand this. What do you get called as a woman when you have good boundaries and care about yourself and have good self-esteem? Starts with a B.
Yeah.
Right? We get called what? We're a biatch.
Dare you not meet my preconceived expectations?
I know.
That I didn't share with you.
But then if the men do it, oh, well, they're strong and virile and masculine. But if we women do it, oh, well, she's just a bitch. She's like, you know how she is.
Yeah. Yep. Passive-aggressive behavior. I mean, it's something I think a lot of us are guilty of at some point or another in our life. And I really had to catch myself on it at one point in my life. Wow, I really have a problem with this.
Really?
Oh, I did. Yeah. I mean, it's not so much now.
Yeah.
But it's come to the forefront enough. I'm very cognizant about it. I'm very careful. I'm always monitoring for that. So explain
to people out there that might be. First of all, they might not know exactly what passive-aggressive is, so you need to tell them that clearly with the definition, a clear definition, and then how you were able to move from that to where you are now.
Give me an example, right? Like say you do something that's just been driving me nuts, right? Like I keep tripping up your stupid stairs because you won't put roofing tiles on them or won't let me put roofing tiles on them for better traction. Every time I come over, I slip and fall up your stupid stairs.
And then you cry all night and it ruins our evening?
Well, no, but I mean, I can do that if you want.
Okay. Okay.
But instead of going, Sandra, will you let me do something with your stairs or like meet me at the bottom of the stairs? Because I'm going to break my freaking neck with my long gangly legs.
Yeah.
On your slippery stairs in the winter, right?
Okay.
Instead of doing that, I cried to like your best friend. And I go, dude, Sandra, those dumb stairs, and I really wish you'd do that and the other, and blah, 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 blah.
Instead of coming to me.
Expecting him to quietly go, you should really do something about your stairs, Sandra. Right? Okay. That's a very passive-aggressive behavior, right? Okay. Instead of just going, I will buy the stuff. Just please let me do something with it.
Or would it be when you're upset with someone and instead of going to that person and communicating clearly, you talk a bunch of crap to them, to everyone else? Because we've all been through that recently, haven't we? And then he... Yeah. Rather than just confronting the person and being like, hey,
Yeah, why are you clowning? Right?
Yeah, or I've done something wrong. How do I make this right?
Yeah, and I can't give like a cookie cutter response on how to address it, but in my spiritual work, we talk about shadow a lot. And when you bring shadow to the forefront, it's no longer shadow because you see it, right? And when you see it, you can address it and you can understand it.
So that's what Caroline was talking about, is it's hard to address something before you're aware of it.
Yes. Yeah, you just can't.
So how
Until
does
you see
someone
it.
that slipped into that passive aggressive mode like you were in, how did you personally recognize it and then start changing it?
I started recognizing it in like my work, in my work environment, my work relationship.
Really?
I started kind of going, why don't I'll sit there and complain and say stuff to people, and that why don't I just go sit down and talk to the person, and keep it above board. And when you start seeing it a little bit in yourself, you start really noticing it in other people too.
Really?
Oh yeah, and that's why I was like, well, this is really. It feels like a big problem amongst our culture in general. You just very common as I start noticing.
I wanted to say, it's kind of a first world problem. I feel like passive aggressiveness is a first world problem.
Well, yeah.
Wait, what happened? Oh my God.
No.
What happened? Oh, love bombs? It's Justin's fault. What are we talking about? Justin, did you enable me? What did you do?
Probably. Somehow I enabled you to do something. I don't know what. Who knows?
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. So you realized at work you were being passive aggressive.
It's something. Yeah.
So how do you consciously change that is what I want to know.
Well, so there's, conscious behavior. When you reach a certain level, there's like different levels. Like there's unconscious behavior and then there's conscious behavior, right? And as you become aware of it, eventually that involuntary reaction, that subconscious, that involuntary reaction you have, where
come on, Vogue.
This is what we've developed, you kids.
Okay, so I think what Justin's trying to say is there's conscious and unconscious, and once it becomes to conscious. So, example.
When you consciously are changing something, eventually you reach a point where you don't have to consciously do it anymore. It's just a natural behavior once the change is integrated.
What Justin's trying to say.
It's trying to get there.
It's like anyone that's ever driven a car, when you first learned how to drive a car, you were like, oh my God, I have to do the gas. And now I've got to slow down. I've got to do the brakes. Oh God, I've got to signal. Let me signal. Oh wait, I'm supposed to look right first, right? And every single thing you're doing in the car, you're like terrified because you've got a million things you got to be paying attention to. Now you probably get in a car and you don't even think about half the things you're doing in the car. It's just totally automatic, right?
Yep.
So once you became more aware of the fact that you were being passive aggressive.
Yeah. You just address it and start changing it. And, a lot of times too, I think folks that are passive aggressive, we don't have good conflict management tools, right?
Oh.
So I had to learn how to show up and approach conflict in a healthy way.
Is that what it is? Is that why, do you think passive aggressive people are afraid of conflict?
I think it can be one possible explanation. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And a lot of that stuff, again, stems from childhood and conditioning and stuff like that.
But here's my question. If you're passive aggressive, how do you ever solve anything?
A lot of times you really don't get the resolutions you're hoping for or get things solved if you're passive aggressive. Or you do like, the example I gave you and you have some degree of success.
So let's do a little role play. I want you to be a passive aggressive person since it sounds like you were closer to that behavior than I was. So, and I'm going to try to get information out of you and I want you to be passive aggressive with me. And I'm going to see.
It's going to be hard to revert.
And I'm going to see I'm going to see if I can get through. We have not rehearsed this, so we'll see how this goes. Okay. So Justin, there were 10 cookies in the cookie jar. And now I come home from work and there's 2. And I told you that those were for company tonight. So, and now there's 2 cookies in the cookie jar. So here's we're setting the scenario, right? I was having company. I baked cookies. I put them in the jar. I told him about this. I come home and there's now 2 cookies. So I don't have cookies for our get together tonight. Okay.
Yeah, we should really
I come in the door. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Hey, Justin, what happened to the cookies?
Oh, I guess we just didn't have enough. We should really.
We didn't have enough.
Yeah, I think we should have more cookies in the future.
Why are you laughing? What's funny about that? See, the thing is, he's a terrible liar. He's a terrible liar. And when he smiles, I know he's lying. But this is role play, so I need you to be serious about this, okay?
Okay.
No, for real though. What happened to the cookies in the jar?
Well, I mean, I hadn't ate all day, and I thought there was going to be some food when I got home.
But you know that we had people coming tonight and I needed those cookies, and there were like, there's sandwiches and stuff you could have made in the fridge. Why would you eat the cookies that now I have nothing to offer our guests tonight when they get here?
It should be fine. Not everybody's going to want to eat a cookie anyway. So.
Okay, that was good. That was good, right? So, and by the way, he's gaslighting me.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
He's gaslighting me right now. Okay.
Yep.
So the thing is, I'm not going to win this argument. He's already eaten the cookies, and I'm smarter than that, because if this really happened in real life and I came home and saw 2 cookies when there were supposed to be 10, and now I've got no cookies for tonight's gathering, I wouldn't even say anything to him. You know what I would say, you guys? Here's the right way to do it. You come home, the person you told that the cookies needed to still be there and they aren't there, don't even bother. You now know that they have no willpower, or they have a total lack of disrespect for you. And you know in the future, you never leave anything where they can get to it and know about it, because you can't trust them with the cookies or the cupcakes or your money or
it's not, she's taking this example because she knows I have self-control problems.
No, that's not why. I was just thinking of an example.
I don't have them in my house because I'll just eat them for breakfast. Lunch,
so here's what I would do. I would come home, I would realize, oh shit, he ate all the freaking cookies. Okay, so rule number 1, Sandra, you're a dummy. Do not leave anything that you need for that night alone with him in the house, because it won't be there. That's my rule moving forward. I'm not going to put you in the position where you can ruin my night. And guess what? You're not going to ruin my night, because I still have half an hour. I'm going to run over to the bakery and I'm going to grab 10 of the best cookies I can buy with my money, so that I still have something. It might not be homemade, but we'll have cookies. My friends everyone will survive without my special cookies.
Caroline says you just need to hide them. She'll forget where she put them, Caroline. And then everyone will show up and she'll be like, oh my God, where are the cookies?
No.
Then she'll ask me where they are.
No,
and I won't know because she hid them from me.
No, Caroline's right. Either I'm going to make them and not tell him and then hide them somewhere where he can't find them, or I'm just not going to let him. I mean, I guess if we were sharing a house, it would be harder, but I would just say, don't come to my house early. Just meet me at my house at 7 if we're having people over at 8. Don't come early. That way he can't be sitting here going, man, it smells good in here. I wonder what she made. Oh God, it's my favorite cookies. I mean, and I've had moments like that, but my answer would be if Justin came home and said, Sandra, I made those cookies. Why are there only 2 cookies? I know, Justin, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was so hungry today. I'm so sorry. But you know what? I went and I bought you more cookies, okay? Or I went and bought the cookie mix, and we can make it right now. We have time to make fresh, warm cookies for the gathering, okay?
Yeah.
So it's okay. I mean, people mess up all the time, you guys. If you think your friendships and relationships are going to be perfect, they will not. People will screw up, but it's how we deal with it, okay?
Slipping the 20 into the wrong side of her purse when she goes to the bathroom at the theater.
Just do that to make me crazy.
Then calling you like 30 minutes
and then
later.
he thinks I'm not going to figure out, after the 10th time of putting a $20 bill in my purse, I'm not going to know who did it. Like, people just normally go around putting money in your purse.
Okay. Weird. So we got a few more. We got a few more before we run out of time, right?
Let's do 2 more, because I feel like we're talking too much.
Okay, so
where are we at?
They're overly self-centered, right? It's going to be all about them, man. They're going to act like you exist to serve them, and you are just a lowly peasant, But they love you and this and that. Like, it's something to be mindful of, right?
You're lucky to be with me.
Oh yeah.
Can I give a great example of this?
Yes.
Can I give a great example?
Of course you can.
Is you have a friend and you haven't talked to them in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And you haven't talked to them in 2 or 3 weeks, and you're usually the one that reaches out, but you've been super busy, and your kids started a new school, and you started a new job, and you've been really busy. And then finally you think about them and go, God, I haven't talked to Joanne in so long. It's not there. I don't know Joanne, I'm just making it up. I haven't talked to Joanne in so long. Let me just go ahead and text her and see how she's doing. And I text her and it's like, well, I'm fine. I mean, if you care. Yeah, of course I care. So I'm like, that's weird. Okay, so I pick up the phone. Hey, Joanne, how are you? It's me. Is everything all right? Well, yeah, of course it's all right. Well, I mean, that was a weird response. Well, I mean, I didn't even know if you cared if I were alive or dead. Well, what do you mean? Well, I mean, you haven't called me or texted me in like over 3 weeks. I'm sorry, biatch. Were your fingers broken? Could you not manage to like send me a goddamn text or message? I mean,
language.
Sorry. But it's like, what?
I love it when you get all East Coast.
Because I know I just came back from East Coast. That's why we're very aggressive over there. But it's like that's the thing is they'll put themselves in a position where you must constantly come to them like, oh, master, who's greater than I? If you have a situation like that, if you have a relationship like that, where somebody is always got to be the.
Can you do that again?
We call it. We call it one-upsmanship in the counseling world. And if you guys have any counselors out there that watch this. Yeah, that's what we have to do. We have to maintain one-upsmanship as your counselor. We can't be your friend. We can't be your peer. We are there to give you guidance, and we are there to help you. And there's this authority that we have to maintain with you, and it's called one-upsmanship. And that's fine in a counseling setting, but when you're in a relationship or a friendship, or if you're even a manager at work, right? You want to have that one-upsmanship and that authority where your workers are here and you're here. No, but it's true, Justin, and you know this because you've got people who work underneath you, and you can't let them think that you guys are all on the same level because it's going to take away from when you need to speak to them about something important.
Yeah.
There's an old saying it goes like this: familiarity breeds contempt. Someone that's too familiar with you, they won't really listen to you, okay? But when we're talking about relationships, if you're constantly in that position, as Justin loves, oh my friend, they always have to be. They always have to be
doing that. That's really great.
They always have to be cowtailed too, right? They always have to be. You have to always remind them of how wonderful they are and how lucky you are to have them in your life. That's not a good situation. You could 20 red flags. I just threw them across the room. 20 red flags. Sandra's throwing red flags. When you see Sandra doing this in your mind, like with red flags, it means, oh, this is probably not good. Okay. Yeah.
So Sandra is very, very proud, very strong person. So to see her going, it's the most hilarious thing in the world to me. That's why I keep trying to get her to do it again. So. Okay, we're gonna.
I'm not worthy.
We're gonna push through here. Okay.
Okay.
So they have
issues. One more.
Oh, well,
one more for the night. No, because then we got to wrap it up.
All right.
We got a lot of stuff we gave them. Yeah.
Well, and these all feed together. They have issues with anger management, and they're controlling and demanding of your time and attention. Right. Again, it's all about me, and usually that anger is when manipulation is, at least in their mind, is failing. Right. A lot of times. That's when you see the anger. That's when the sweetest pie, love bombing, boo, 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 falls apart. Because you're not playing ball no more.
Well,
right?
they might. Okay, so here's how that works. They might come back in and try to love bomb you again after they've really pushed the limits. And you're like, I'm done with you. It's over. Our friendship, our relationship is over. They might try to come in and love bombing you again. They might. But the most dangerous time with a person like this is when? Do you know when?
When you're trying to leave.
When you've actually left.
Or when you've left.
When you're trying to leave, they might love bomb you. But when they know you're actually for real going to leave this friendship because you've seen that it's not healthy for you or a relationship or whatever, it's going to get ugly really quick. So what's going on, Justin?
I'm trying it. I wanted to say hi. Can we
highlight the comment?
I don't know how to say her last name.
Come on, Justin, you should learn.
I don't want to mess up her last name.
What do you mean?
Her name is Sandra. We've got a Sandra watching.
Oh my God, Sandra!
I want to say hi to Sandra.
I don't know how to highlight it.
Oh yeah, we'll figure it out.
Stop! You're gonna mess it up.
Well, it's.
Oh my God! Now I'm stuck on it.
How do you think you pronounce it?
How do I do it? It's Sandra Lang. Yeah, we're actually
okay.
I don't know. I pinned the message. I don't know. I'm gonna learn how to do this, you guys. I am. I promise. This is the private chat. I don't even know. I'm still learning this whole thing. But let's just. Were you gonna give one more? Or that was the one more.
There was two more, and I cleverly wove them together.
Okay, good. So when you do decide that you're done and you're finished, and you can't do this anymore. Okay. The key here is going to be to leave and do not look back, okay? Because that person is going to want to kill you because you literally, the biggest issue for this person is going to be your rejection, and they are going to come after you. They will never go away quietly. So the best way for you to manage it is to distance yourself as far as, and don't get pulled in. Even 6 months later, if they contact you and go, I just wanted to see how you were doing, don't get pulled in, because I promise you they have not changed.
Yeah, give them nothing to work with.
Yeah.
And people
change your number, change your email.
People affect us differently. Like I know of one ex that I have to just be very, very shielded. Like she can get me, man. If so you have to know. I think I called it emotional hubris. Oh, I can deal with this person and let them back in and manage it. Nope.
No.
Don't do it. Don't fall for that.
They're looking for a little tiny hole where they can start to dig through and get through that boundary that you built. So, okay, so let's sum this up. And Caroline mentioned we are going to be doing a live with Caroline. If you should see this right now, or you should see it at some point during the week. If you go on the Answers Facebook page, you will see that we have posted the event, and we're going to be on with Lady Caroline, one of our very favorite people. And Lady Caroline is an intuitive and a healer. And I don't have my rods. They're still packed away in my suitcase. And Justin wasn't prepared, but that's fine. That's fine. When we do the live with Caroline, we will have our tools, and we'll be able to do, basically just about anything, except for what? We can't create dragons, you guys. That's not going to happen. Don't ask me to, conceptualize or manifest dragons. What else can't we do?
Well, dragons?
I don't know. I mean, like, I would like to have a dragon, but if you ask me to make a dragon, I don't know how to do that. Is there anything else we can't do? We won't be making ice cream live. That won't be happening. Yeah. But most things we'll be doing.
She won't make cookies before the live because apparently I'll eat them all.
I'll eat cookies in front of you all. We should. You know what? Let's do something fun for the live. Let's do something fun for the live.
Definitely have to.
No, like a little contest or something.
Yeah, we've been a little too serious lately.
We'll have to. Yeah, we're known for being really serious. Okay, we're going to figure out something fun. We will announce it on the live after checking with Lady Caroline to make sure it's okay. We might have like a little contest or a little, something. Let's do this because this is a special occasion. I've never done a live with Justin outside of the answer. So this is going to be really fun. And we were both students at one point of Lady Caroline. Yes. And he who shall remain nameless, we will not mention. But yeah, it'll be really fun to get on there and do some stuff. Did you like the face he just made? He who shall remain nameless.
Yeah. I was like, well, I wanted to say, well, just call him Tom Riddle, like, from the Harry Potter. Tom Riddle is actually
I don't follow
an anagram for like Voldemort.
Oh, okay. I didn't follow.
Was it Tom Riddle? I don't know
Harry Potter. Anyways, let's go over really quickly. So join us. Click going on that event so that you can get your time, because we have people following us from like India and Australia, and I just have given up with trying to tell people times. But just click on that; it'll give you the right time. Now, let's go over some of the key situations to avoid. When you're weeding your social garden, these are the tools you want to use. Number one, reciprocity. When you are seeking out a new friendship or relationship, not speaking of the ones you already have, give a little, see what comes back to you. If nothing comes back to you, wish them well and move on, because that's not your person. And it doesn't mean they're bad. It doesn't mean they're good. It just means it's not your person. It's not someone that the divine wants you to be spending time with. Okay. And our divine always wants the best. The divine cannot lie. It only wants the best for you, and it only loves you. Okay. And then number two, look for an equitable relationship. Make sure you're in a friendship with someone, or a relationship, dating or otherwise, that is somewhat equal. And whereas people that have been married a long time will tell you that no marriage is equal all the time. It's never 50-50. Okay. Somebody loses a job. Somebody has a sick relative. Someone, a parent passes away, a pet is sick, whatever. Things change, right? There's different dynamics in the relationship.
Is the other person going to come through for you? That's
right.
That's really
overall, over time, it should be like this. It should never be like this. Okay. So look for that. Look for that equitable relationship, and make sure that your bank account is getting replenished. How will you know? You will not feel tired and drained following interactions. You will not feel yourself constantly going, I wish I were appreciated a little bit more. Okay. So once you're in the relationship, Justin, once we're in that relationship, you might know somebody right now that you're going, I don't know if this person's right for me in my life. So we want to look out for gaslighting, which is, again, Justin, what was that great definition that Caroline came up with?
It was fantastic. I have to scroll up the chat, but it basically says invalidating and refusing to acknowledge your position or feelings,
and denying, and really just putting a whole spin on it that's not even. They're not even addressing what's going on. It's like they're not even in the conversation you're having. They're having another conversation.
It's your problem, and you just don't understand what's going on here.
Yeah. You're not smart enough to understand why they did what they did. Yeah. Okay. And then the other thing we want to look out for is passive aggressiveness. So you do something and suddenly, it's funny with passive aggressiveness, because I remember now I was in a relationship with someone that was passive aggressive, and he used to complain all the time that I was teaching Zumba for 10 years. I was a Zumba instructor at the schools, elementary schools. But if I'm teaching Zumba class, I obviously can't go in, overalls and a baseball cap and a large jacket. If you've ever seen somebody teaching Zumba, we're burning thousands of calories in a workout. Okay.
Siberian Zumba?
Huh?
Siberian Zumba outside in Siberia?
Yeah, I guess in Siberian Zumba, but I'm in a classroom. I'm teaching in front of children, but I'm still wearing workout clothes, right? Because I have to, because I'm going to be jumping around and screaming and sweating. And I would always get the comments from the passive aggressive one when I got back, when I was sweaty and wet and wearing these workout clothes. It was like, did the male teachers enjoy that? Oh, did you make any boyfriends over there? And so it got me to the point where I didn't want to deal with it anymore. So I would literally change at the school and come home in my regular clothes so I didn't have to hear it from him. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're with someone who's passive aggressive, a lot of times you'll start to change your behavior or your schedule or the things you normally do. You'll change it so that you don't have to deal with it. And so for me, that was a really big sign that like, okay, I'm with someone that's really got issues, rather than saying, hey, Sandra, I feel uncomfortable. I feel kind of insecure when you come back in these really cute outfits. And I'm just wondering, I'm around first graders. They really enjoyed my sexy outfit. It's like I'm teaching in a cafeteria.
I hate it when my romantic partners are dressed up in attractive outfits.
All I'm saying is if you find yourself like adjusting your behavior to fit to the other person so there's no conflict, that could be a bad sign, right? So gaslighting, passive aggressiveness, adjusting your behavior so that the other person doesn't get upset with you, that's actually borderline abusive.
And that's a slippery slope because it never works.
It never works.
Honestly.
They'll find something else that will piss them off.
They're just constantly moving the bar on that one. That was my last relationship. I thought, if I just avoid this and this and this. No, no. Nope.
Exactly.
Trap.
And then once you decide now, Justin, okay, this relationship is not equitable. It is not reciprocated. I can't do this any longer. We know that once you actually break it off, you need to separate yourself as much as possible. But removing yourself from that situation, what's the key for that? Once you decide, okay, this is not.
I think there's a couple of things. One, you shouldn't be expected to do it alone. Like if you've got really good friends to help rein you in, and they've got that outside perspective to keep feeding and reminding the negative, everything you've been dealing with,
the reason you
kind of keep a hold of you, close to their heart. That's a really good thing to rely on the really quality people in your life.
Yeah. Also, if you start to feel like you're slipping and getting love bombed and getting pulled back in,
don't give me anything to work with.
They can remind you of why you left in the first place.
Yeah, don't give them anything to work with. Don't have emotional hubris, as I call it. Don't think that you can manage their games if you've clearly failed at it over and over again because of pride or because of shame or anything like that. Just put up the wall and protect yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
You're never going to win an argument with them. They're always going to out-talk you. They're always going to be right. And I will say for anybody out there that's in an abusive situation, which I'm sure there's going to be at least one person that sees this and has been in an abusive situation, definitely reach out. In America, we have women's crisis lines. We have domestic violence support because how do I say this in a positive way? It's difficult. Some women do not leave with their life when they leave their abusive partners or their manipulators or their narcissists. So just be really aware of your legal options. Know the best plan if you're in a situation where it might be abusive. Please do not just go up to your abuser and go, I was watching this video with Sandra and Justin, because then they'll come after us. but definitely get some support. Get a support group, get a network. And I'm sure there are resources around you. If you don't know the resources, send us a message and we'll try to help you find something in your area. Do not make any moves until you are fully prepared to do so. I think that's important.
Closing comments. Well, like last things to wrap it up. So Sandra Lane, great comment. Don't walk on eggshells ever. True. And Caroline revisited the definition of gaslighting. That's the word I was looking for. Undermining another person's reality. That's the word I was trying to find.
Right.
Like that reality. Like they're not acknowledging your reality.
Right.
So by denying facts, feelings manipulation. So
there you go. There you have it, and there you go. I hope that this helped you guys and kind of just reinforce things that you probably already know. But if we're giving you this message, there's probably a reason why you needed to hear it tonight. So each of you will understand what that means to you.
And sometimes it's hard to put it all together, right? You only see a little hint here, a little hint there, and then you watch a video or you hear a friend that you go, oh my God, all of this describes what I'm dealing with, all of it. Like, clearly, it's time to do something about it, right?
You know, and you guys, I'm going to tell you this. At the end of the day, if you find yourself going to sleep, closing your eyes, and your head's on your pillow, and you fall asleep with a smile because you know you are surrounded by people that love you and support you and encourage you to be the best version of you, you're blessed. But most people are not finding themselves in that position, especially with the way things are changing right around us every day. Every day it's like more negativity, more judgment, more criticism. We have to be really careful. And what might have worked for you 5 years ago with your friendship circle or your relationship might not be working now. So if you find yourself going to sleep and wondering why you feel depleted, why your energy feels yucky, why you find yourself in negative thought patterns, it could very well have to do with the people you're allowing into your circle. So yeah. Anyways, good luck. Message us if you need a resource. And we'll talk to you soon. Good night, you guys. Good night, Caroline. We'll see you soon. Bye, Sandra. Bye, everyone.